Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I'm in a different place today and this is a tag video that's a newbie tag, a Bookstagrammer newbie tag, and I've taken a couple questions from a couple other newbie tags that I've seen. I haven't listened or watched a whole bunch of them, so my questions are not exactly all the questions, and now that I've written them down, I can't read my own writing, so we'll see. But anyway, I wanted to film in front of half of my bookcase that's in the family room, I guess, and so I just used this half of the bookcase, and then there's the other half on the other side, and unfortunately there are glass shelves which I don't like, and eventually we will replace them with wood. But so I've got books behind me that I bought used, except for the NYRB classics. Those I got new, but all the rest are used. And then my black penguins, which I love, and I tend to get from eBay. And then up above, the stuff you can't see very well, these two are my childhood books, which I'll show someday. And then I will switch this, not switch it, move it, so you can see the rest, which someday I'll show a video of. But I just wanted to film here because I don't know why. Something different, I guess. Okay, Took, I'm gonna put you down and I'll go through some questions. All right. Question 1, why did I start this channel? I never thought about or even actually knew about Booktube until at some point in 2022. I actually didn't know anything about Bookstagram until I heard about it on the Book Club Review podcast. I heard Laura and Kate sometimes mentioning that they were following somebody on Bookstagram, and I actually Googled Bookstagram because I didn't know it was part of Instagram. I thought, what is this world? So then I learned, probably from that Googling, that it was part of Instagram. And it just really is Instagram, except, I had to learn about, I didn't understand the hashtag thing, and I just started following a couple people on Bookstagram, and started off following a couple of my favorite podcasts, and then I don't know how I found the people that I follow, and obviously that list keeps growing, but I just love the community of Bookstagram, and I've read books that I would never have read had it not been for Bookstagram. From read-alongs to just suggestions, and also just hearing about somebody's love for a book. I don't do full-on book reviews. That is a real talent that other Bookstagrammers do. I just really, on my Booktube channel, really talk about my experience of a book. So Booktube, how did I come to that? Well, what happened was I started Bookstagram. I'm gonna try to move Suki off of the table where the tripod is. Hey you, can I get you to move? Can I put you up here? Is that interesting? We'll see. When I started posting on Bookstagram, I realized that I didn't like typing out my thoughts very much. I mean, I still do, but they're not my complete thoughts because I just don't like typing. I type all day in this day and age, for any of us that have desk jobs, most of us are typing all day. And I just felt like I was short-circuiting my post because I didn't want to type. And by then I was following Sean the Book Maniac. Who were some of the early ones? Definitely Sean the Book Maniac was one of them. I've just stumbled on Savage Reads. He has a very large following. Lauren in the Books, wonderful Booktube channels. And I'm trying to remember those early ones. I'm sure I'll remember them when I'm done and I'll post them below, but those are some of the early ones. And I realized, like, wow, I'm not as talented as these other people, but I feel like maybe I can talk about books then I wouldn't have to type out a bunch of stuff. And I did see an early Booktuber. That's what it was. I saw Sean the Book Maniac, who's been going for like 4 or 5 years. And he was connected to Lindy. And I saw her first video. She just had started recording a year or so ago. Maybe it's 2 years by now. And I saw her first video and I thought, I don't know, I'm just gonna try it. So that's what happened. And I really do like this format, talking about books, because it really puts me out there and I'm doing something that is challenging me and makes me nervous. And in my life, with each decade that goes on, I really do like being in a space that's challenging me and making me nervous in a good way. So I continue to look for opportunities to feel that way. Now that I'm 58 and a half, I'm just continuing in different facets, whether it's physical, outdoor stuff that I do, or internal stuff, or taking a class or something like that. I really want to keep challenging myself in a way that's enriching. What am I most excited about starting this Booktube channel? I think that's the question. The engagement. I'm loving the engagement. I love finding new connections on Booktube. And most importantly, I love the people who are commenting. I love to engage with their feedback and their experiences and their thoughts. That is tremendous. What is it? Why do you love reading? More and more, the way that I would explain it now is I feel like reading is one of those precious analog things that we're doing. I mean, oh sure, you can listen to an audiobook. I've been doing that for years. And you can read books on your phone. But I just feel like the experience of reading a book, like I was just doing for 5 minutes after lunch, is such a basic, simple thing to do that engages your mind, that forces you, that's not really the right word, but I'll go with it, forces you to create a scene in your head, to step into someone else's life. Maybe you can see similarities in their life, in their experience, in their thoughts, whatever it is, but maybe you can't. And I'm not on my phone, and I'm not on an iPad, and I'm not in front of a computer, and it's portable, and I can take it places. It also links me to my childhood in a way that's really important to me. So there's a couple things that link me to my childhood, but in terms of reading, that is a real, just straight line to my childhood. That makes me feel really good and connects me with part of what is the essence of my being. So it's a wonderful experience for me. Yep. Okay, 5. I wrote down some answers, but I didn't write down the question. I can tell by the answers it's probably talking about what are some of my favorite books in my lifetime, but I really want to focus on younger books because, my God, I could just go on and on. The first book I remember reading I have a vague memory, this is pre-kindergarten, from the library, is something called The Littlest Eskimo, and it was this tiny book, and it had like a red cover, and I've tried to find it. I can remember exactly where it was on the shelf because I got it out more than once. So that's my earliest reading experience. I started reading, my mother taught me how to read before I was in kindergarten, which back in 1968, when I was 4, was really unique. And so when I got into kindergarten, where kids were learning how to read, going from 0 to learning how to read, I was with another girl who already knew how to read. And so we were off reading while other kids were learning how to read. But I do remember that because I was a reader for Christmas, I would get those boxed sets. And if anybody in the early 70s or the 70s remembers getting those wonderful boxed sets of Newbery Award winners, Caldecott winners, one of those. I know one of them is picture books, but and just popular books for grade school readers. So, you know, Charlotte's Web, Stuart Little, The Cricket in Times Square. Then some of my other early reading experiences would be from the Mixed Up Files of Basil E. Frankweiler, A Wrinkle in Time. And I don't want to forget to mention, this is back in early grade school, The Phantom Tollbooth. Fantastic. And then I started reading series of books like Encyclopedia Brown. Okay, what else do I have? What questions would you ask favorite booktubers? One thing that I would say that I'm always curious about that I don't know about all of my favorite booktubers is what do they do for a living if they're working, and what are some of their other interests. I'm super interested, super curious person, and I love to know about somebody 365 degrees. So most of the booktubers I know that about, but not all of them. And eventually, if you watch enough videos, you find that out. And what's one of the biggest challenges I'm looking forward to, or that I've had so far? Editing, video editing. I can't keep talking about the fact that I don't know how to edit videos, so I don't edit videos. I am gonna knuckle down and learn how to edit videos. And so this is one of those challenges that I didn't know about beforehand that I'm looking forward to. I keep getting stuck when I look at YouTube videos and I try to follow along, or I get into an app that somebody's told me is super easy to use and I can't figure it out. So I'm just really excited to learn something new like that. Where do I read? Mostly in bed before I'm about to fall asleep is where I consistently read. So that could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes at most. And then I read in the morning because I'm reading a chapter a day, War and Peace, so I always get that in. And then I will read on the weekends at any given time. Sometimes I will read for a couple minutes at lunchtime. I don't read while I'm eating. I don't find holding a book and eating enjoyable, but I will do that sometimes. But it's mostly, maybe it's, after dinner for 20 minutes before we start watching something that we're watching in a series or whatever. And what kind of books? I'm probably going to answer this based on stuff that I'm not attracted to as much right now, and that would be sci-fi and fantasy. Romance, there are some books that I'm starting to try now because I'm watching Noelle Gallagher's channel and she's making romance look really fun. So I think there will be some romance books that I enjoy. I don't tend to go towards romance, but now I'm opening up to it. And horror. If I didn't say horror, I don't read horror, although there are some books that have a thriller aspect, I would say, that I read. I mean, Burnham Wood is thriller-esque. So I would say that I'm open to genres. I will be trying out an Ursula K. Le Guin, just because I've just heard so many wonderful things about that author. I'd have to start off really low bar, so if any of you have recommendations for the first step, the first simple step into Ursula Le Guin, please let me know. And I think that's it. I'm not going to try to decipher any more of my writing. I want to make sure I think I hit all the high points. So thanks for joining me in my first Bookstagram tag video. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you on the next one.